Hey y'all, welcome to Mrs. Lynn's Cooking. Today we're going to make homemade cinnamon rolls with canned biscuits. What you're going to need is a 9x9 cake pan. You'll definitely need a roller. If you don't have one, use a bottle. Pastry brush, 1 can of biscuits, any kind. Brown sugar, 1 cup of chopped pecans, 1 or half a cup of raisins that I'm soaking in warm water so that it makes some moisture. And then we got about 4 tablespoons of melted butter. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of our butter that we have melted and we're going to put it in the pan so they don't stick. Now, one thing I've found out after making these a couple of times is I've always floured my surface so it wouldn't stick. And that's great, but the problem with it was that when I was trying to get them apart or get them to stick together, they would not stick. So we're going to try it this time with no flour whatsoever. And we've got that buttered. We're going to take our biscuits, we're going to lay them right next to each other, and we're going to pat them out like so. Because what you're wanting to do is you want the biscuit dough to stick together. And then we're going to have to roll it. And once we roll it, that's fine. If it sticks to the thing a little bit, that's what we want. But as if you can see, we're trying to close up all of our holes. And you can do this with 1 or 2 cans of biscuits. It's up to you. I'm only doing a small batch, so we just don't overeat them. Because if I make a large batch, it's just we keep eating them all day. So we're going to get this done. I'm going to get it mashed out, and we're going to take and get that section right there to close up. Because when these things start to roll up, we're going to have to make sure there's no gap so the stuff does not fall out. And then we're just rolling them out. Oops. Didn't say I was the best at this, but hey, we're going to give it a shot. And if you could see, it did exactly what I thought it would. So, that's okay. We've got this. Just takes a little bit of work to get it all together so it sticks together the way it's supposed to. Then, we've got all that done. We're going to take our butter that we melted. You can use, I prefer it melted because it seems to go on a lot even than if I leave it just in, cold chunk butter. So we're gonna put this over here really thick. And then once we get it all painted on there, then we go to our next section. But one thing I wanted to let you know as well is we put raisins in ours is because my family likes raisins and pecans in theirs. You do not have to do it. It's up to the individual person. But if you do put the raisins in to make them more plump, soak them in some hot tap water for about 10 minutes and then just drain them off. And that's all you've got to do. I mean, it's so simple. Some of these recipes are like, oh, they're so hard to do, but once you get in here and start doing it, you really don't have to. It's going to be a fun project, even for kids. And kids love to make a mess in the kitchen, don't I know? Okay, and then next we're going to take and we're going to put our brown sugar. I do not measure the brown sugar. I just take it by handfuls and sprinkle it out as thick as I want it. You can use white granulated sugar for this, but I prefer the brown sugar. It gives it a much sweeter consistency and it's just got a better flavor to it. But like I said, I just sprinkle it on there to make sure everything is on. And then I'm going to roll it around here because what we do is once we get this done, we're going to have to roll this little thing up. And sometimes it's easy to do and sometimes it's not. But just keep working at it. You will get it. Okay, we've got our brown sugar. Then I'm going to take my chopped up pecans. I've got about a cup of chopped up pecans that I chopped up earlier. So we're just going to sprinkle that on. You can put as many or as less as you like. You can use walnuts, you can use pecans, whichever ones that you have available. It doesn't have to be a specific. So, but we're just wanting to make sure that we got all this stuff on here and that everybody gets a bite of everything. Okay. And now I'm going to sprinkle on my raisins here because we like raisins in it. Most kids will tell you they are gross, yucky, they don't want them. But with the cinnamon rolls, they just give them a really good flavor. So we like a lot of raisins on ours, which works out. If you use it all, great. If not, that's okay. You can still eat them. They're good. Then, next what we're going to do is we're going to mash this down some. So we're going to make sure that it's all in there. And it's a little bit of a messy chore, but that's okay. I'm going to take this in and I'm going to start to roll it. And that's all we're doing, is we're going to roll this up into like a Swiss roll. We're just going to roll it up. And as you can see, it's kind of messy, but that's okay. We can get this done. But if you flour, like I was saying, if you flour your surface, the biscuits do not want to stick to each other. And that's what you're wanting it to do. And these are going to be some really good, and they're really good when they come fresh out of the oven. They're really good. And they're great warmed up too. And now I'm getting to my second roll here, and like I said, trying to get this all rolled up together. But then you've got so much stuff on it that sometimes it just doesn't want to roll. It doesn't want to cooperate. But we're going to just keep pinching until we get it. And then just tuck it in. And yes, I think I overdid it with the toppings or with the filling, but that's okay. It's all going to be good. And then once we get these to this here and get it mashed in together, sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not. And then we're going to kind of shove that in there so that it closes everything up in it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a knife and we're going to start cutting these up so that we can roll them into or put them into our pan and bake them at whatever the temperature says for your biscuits. Normally I just bake it at 350 until they come out golden brown. Okay, now I just got to get a knife. Okay, now we've got our knife, we've got everything rolled up and pinched together the best we can. We're going to take the cinnamon that I forgot to tell you about earlier, and we'll sprinkle that on top once we get them cut. So you're going to cut them into like 1-inch pieces. Just like so. And yes, they will come apart on you a little bit, but that's okay. They're still going to be good. So get these cut up. I got a nut there that doesn't want to cut. And make sure that when you do this, that you have a sharp knife to go right through it. Okay, now we're going to take our pan. Okay, like I said, we're going to take our cinnamon rolls. We're going to put them in our pan that's already been greased with butter. And we're going to take them up like so, and then you put them in here tight. Because what's going to happen when they do cook, they're going to swell up. So you want them in there nice and tight. And you'll have some stuff that's going to be left over, and that's fine. We'll just clean it up. That's what baking is about. Experimenting and trying new different things. And for some reason, I always seem to put too much stuff in the middle of it because I just want it a nice looking, good, gooey cinnamon roll. That's one piece there. Okay. There we go. And then once we get them in here, like so, we're going to take, and I'm going to take some more. I'm going to kind of mash them down in there, because you want to make sure you get your fillings all in there. And we're going to take that butter again, and we're going to just paint a little bit over the tops for our cinnamon stick. Doesn't have to be thick. A lot of people like butter. I like butter too sometimes, but sometimes it could be a little much. We're just going to paint it. And this is going to make it a really pretty golden brown too. Okay, and then I'm going to take my cinnamon and just sprinkle it over the top. And then once we get this done, we're going to take it and put it in a 350-degree oven. It's already been preheated. And let it bake. Okay, our cinnamon rolls have come out of the oven. You can see they're a nice golden brown because of the butter. Now we're going to make the icing for it. And it's really simple. Take your powdered sugar and pour a pretty good amount in there, because you want to make sure you ice every bit of the cinnamon rolls. And then we just take whole milk, just a little bit at a time, so that we can make our icing. And then we're just going to stir it up till we get the consistency of the icing the way you want it. But like I said, just add it little by little, because once you overdo it, you'll have to add more powdered sugar. So it's a lot easier to just have a little bit at a time. And this is incorporating really good. So I think that is the consistency that I want. Make sure we get all the lumps out of it. And use cold milk. Do not use warm milk, because it will cook the sugar. And it's going to get hot anyway, because the cinnamon rolls just came out of the oven. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my basting brush, and I'm going to just start basting on, or drizzling on, my icing. You'll have some extra, and that's fine. Some people like more, some people like less. I try to do in between. And like I said, we're just drizzling it all over there, so that every cinnamon roll's got some icing. And it's going to be so, so good. And then before you go to take these out, you might want to let them sit for a couple of minutes to cool off, because they're really super hot. Okay. And our cinnamon rolls are done. Our cinnamon rolls are done. If you like my video, please like and subscribe for more. Thank you.